I have always thought motherhood is stressful. Thank you for making it right. Hi, beautiful minds. This is our corner, and my name is Lola Joel. Today, we'll be talking about winning knowledge and practice among women. So, we have with us today a staff nurse and midwife, Mrs. Okeke Josephine, who will be educating us and talking about winning among women, young mothers, older women, and of course our upcoming newlyweds. Thank you as we invite Mommy on the show. Audio Jungle. Good morning, ma. Sorry.
Good morning.
How do you feel?
I'm fine.
All right. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, my name is Mrs. Josephine Okeke. I'm from Anambra State, though residing in Kaba here. I'm living here in Kaba.
Okay.
I'm a staff nurse midwife. With the little knowledge I've had and what I've heard about women wanting to win off their baby from breast, honestly, it has given me much thought seeing the stigma mothers, the young mothers and aged mothers, what are the impression they have towards winning off a baby from breast.
Okay.
I decided to come up with this teaching, the knowledge or the approaches mothers ought to have towards winning off their baby from breast. So,
okay. So how long have you been doing this?
Okay, for years now. In fact, any opportunity I have to help educate any mother concerning winning, I do. Either in the hospital premises or where I practice my nursing in Chris Joe Pharmacy.
Okay.
Whenever anybody comes buying drug for weaning off baby from breast, maybe for pain or engorgement of the breast, I will seize the opportunity of educating the mother how and what to do during this period of weaning. So it has been my pleasure to do it, not just because I like, but I want them to have that foreknowledge concerning weaning. That it's not a punishment,
Okay.
it's a pleasure. You understand? Because there are people out there who are looking for the baby to come, but they don't have children.
Okay.
So somebody having it now want to go and give somebody to hold for you because you want to win off baby from breast. It's not a good impression. Your baby should stay with you while you win off baby from breast.
Okay.
It's not a punishment. It's a thing of joy to win your baby. Seeing your baby, how the baby reacts, how the baby feels, how the baby look at your face when you are saying, no, I won't give you the breast again. So I like what I'm doing. I want mothers to have that view, that knowledge that winning off baby or breast is their pride. It's a thing of joy.
Okay. So now that we've been talking about winning, please, Mommy, tell us what winning means.
Okay. Weaning or complementary feeding
Okay.
is a gradual process whereby the baby is being introduced to an adult feeding or a solid food. That is, weaning is a gradual process of switching an infant diet from breast milk to adult food or solid food. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
You can just give us more, please, enlighten the youth out there who really wants to go into motherhood and of course marriage.
Okay. Weaning, you can call it weaning or complementary feeding,
Okay.
whereby you are not stopping the breast at once,
Okay.
but you want to switch off this baby from breast milk to introduce that baby from breast milk to other adult food, to other solid food. You want the baby to get used to or get to know about other feeding to add up to the breast milk. So that is what it means.
So like now, you talk about baby actually have stages where they grow from. So I don't know, there should be types of weaning and how we actually should go about what this weaning is. So
Okay, like we have about two types of weaning.
okay.
There is what we call baby-led weaning. This baby-led weaning, we start that majorly from 6 months. This baby at this time, you can prepare a food, maybe a pap or maybe mashed rice, mashed beans. At this stage, this baby is sitting down now. The baby has started to sit down and carry the body.
Yes.
He's sitting down, it's not standing. So you can drop the food on the floor for the baby, or in fact on the floor. The baby picks up the food by him or herself to eat.
Okay.
That is the first type of feeding, baby-led weaning. The baby initiates the weaning. The mother cooks the food, prepare the food the way the baby can. You can prepare it in shapes.
Okay.
You can prepare it in shapes, in style. Just drop it in the plate for the baby to start picking. At this time, the baby picks the little the stomach can accommodate and go off. Then another type of feeding is pews. We call it pews or spoon feeding.
Okay.
At this type of feeding, the mother carries the baby. Either it prepares pap or cereals like Cerelac, or people that use it. Some people use preso rice. In fact, the mother prepares the food and sit down and have time for this baby. You spoon feed the baby.
Okay.
So there are the two types of feeding that we have. The one the baby does by him or herself, and the one the mother spoon feed the baby. We call it pews, whereby pews means some fruits that the mother match or blend, make it in a pastry way to feed this baby. Apart from types of feeding that I have just mentioned now, the baby-led weaning, the one the baby feed him or herself, little by little,
Yes.
with the spoon feeding or pews, the one the mother use her hand to feed, or any other relation, maybe the elderly ones can feed the baby. But at this stage, the baby, somebody feeds the baby. Then we now have stages of weaning.
Okay.
We have about 3 stages of weaning. We have the first stage. We have stage 1, we have stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. The stage 1 starts from 6 months. At this 6 months, this baby just, if for mothers that did exclusive breastfeeding, this baby start from after the exclusive. You start to introduce gradual from 6 months to 7 months. You start gradual to introduce some liquids, some fluid, not too thick, but at least you start with lighter food, not the food that will choke this baby now. You start from lighter food, like you can even give tea or pap, make it light. You give to this baby at this first stage, 6 months to 7 months.
Okay.
Another stage we have is stage 2, that start from 7 months to 9 months.
Wow.
Yes. At this stage, the mother makes the feeding more solid. Yes. The food gets heavier than this first stage.
Okay, this is when solid food is recommended.
Yes.
Okay.
You can now mash your rice, you mash your beans, you mash your yam, add your whatever you want to add, maybe oil, tomato, vegetables, you mash it and feed the baby as well at this second stage of feeding. Then the last stage is the third stage. At this stage, the baby eats the normal adult food, but little by little to avoid choking to the baby.
When you initiate the baby food at that, would the baby start growing teeth at that point, or they can actually swallow or use their tongue in swallowing this food? Will they be able? Because most kids grow teeth very late.
Okay.
So how are you going to help us children?
Okay. In fact, most of my children, they start erupting teeth after I wean them off from breast.
Oh.
Yes, most of all my children, none have gotten teeth at 6 months. I'm sure of that one. So you understand? So it's not your weaning off baby from breast that makes the baby to start erupting teeth.
Okay.
Some children start erupting teeth at 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Depends on the body mechanism to individuals.
Exactly.
So that's why we introduce mashed food. You can't just give a baby bone to start cracking it. No, you give baby food that are very tender. You cook very well. You know, I told you of pews, that spoon feeding.
Yes.
I told you pews are blended food, blended fruits, blended vegetables, veggies. So because why you make it pew is the baby cannot chew. So the tendency for them, even when they pick rice, they just pick it and swallow it. They don't chew it at this point. So bringing out teeth has nothing to do with weaning. Baby brings out teeth whenever the baby feels like, or when the nature comes that the baby will rub teeth, the baby starts bringing out teeth. So, but majorly, if you want to feed this baby, you mash the food because many of them cannot chew. Either they swallow it or you mash it for them to swallow.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for watching. We'll be on a short break so soon. Thank you and stay tuned till we come back.
Hi, I'm Tomi and I love enjoyment. Abby, who don't like better thing? I like to do things that make me feel happy and comfortable. One of those things is going to a nice and comfortable restaurant and treat myself to delicious and good meals.
Hi, like I said, motherhood is stressful and she's really proving it. Of course, I never thought I went through this as a child, you know, the weaning process and all of that. So now, mommy, please, looking forward, you will actually tell us about the weaning diet, and of course, what to do.
Okay. Weaning diet.
Yes.
When we talk about weaning diet means those food that you start off with during your weaning a baby from breast. Those things that is an addictive, you want to add it up to your breast milk. There are so many of them. And remember, any weaning diet you want to add up now must have nutritional value that will be able to help this baby to grow very well. That will help the baby to build more immune system. That will help the baby also to be agile. So that it will not be because the baby stops breastfeeding, so many things start to occur in the life of that baby. So the weaning diet must be a complete diet, a balanced diet.
Is it optional?
It's not optional. In fact, more mothers need to do it, and in fact they have to know it. Some people, when they want to start weaning up baby from breast, you hear them saying, "Go and buy Indomie for me."
Okay.
They will think Indomie is the best food they can give to a baby. Do you know your little pap at home, your jero and dawa? Just wash it very well, soak it in water for 2 days, blend it, and sieve it. You can put your soya milk or soya powder.
Yes.
You can add your little crayfish. You can add some other things to the pap instead of buying Indomie. You make those ones rich for your baby to use. You can cook beans. Some people think, how would I give my baby beans? So that they will say, I don't know how to prepare. You can prepare your beans and mash it. Put your tomatoes, onion, crayfish, make it tender. The beans must be very soft. Then you mash it and give to the baby.
Okay.
It's a weaning diet.
Alright. What about the mothers also? Do they go on such diets?
Yes. Whatever you want to wean your baby from or of, the diet you want to start giving the baby at this time that you want to wean the baby should be the same food the mother is taking. You know you are still breastfeeding this child. You have not totally stopped it.
Okay.
The breastfeeding. You are still breastfeeding this child. So you know and bear it in your mind that this baby is not getting enough from those food. Some of them will just eat more and just stand up and start playing. So the mother now eating those food prepared by her helps the breast milk to be rich for the child to suck.
Why must it be exact? Why must it be the exact food you prepare for the child? Because right now the body is different from the child, and I have to eat well, be filled, to satisfy, you know, and also the body should pump milk for the child. So why should I eat something similar to the child's food?
Yes. The question you ask is very important, because how many types of food we even have in Nigeria here?
Okay.
The staple food are not much. What are they? You can just eat garri today, you eat yam, the same class of food. Except you are ready to be cooking 2 different pots in your house. It's not supposed to be like that. Whenever you want to wean baby of breast, let it be the same food that you cook for every member of the family, including yourself. Except when the baby is still coming up. Maybe the baby is just 1 month, 2 months, then you know that you are doing exclusive. Your fluid intake should increase. You can take pap, enough pap. You can take beverages like tea and all those things. Then you take enough water as well. Then eat quality food. At this time, the baby is still tender. So you want to make the breast milk to pump more. But now that the baby is up to 6 months, you still want to go back to and be eating, taking much tea, taking much pap. When you know that the baby is now coming up, you need to build that baby's immune. You need to build that baby's body mass. So you need to add other food. Okay. So you don't need to go and make your own food different while the baby's own is different. No. Cook the same food in the family. If you just decide to be doing that, then you'll be having 2 pots, right, which is not too encouraging.
Okay. So what about women now who gets pregnant before the baby turned 1 year? How do they wean their child?
Okay, that's a very good question. I have been longing to hear this question from you. Honestly, I'm happy what you just asked now. Some people, their baby will be 6 months.
Exactly.
They will say, I miss my period. How do I continue breastfeeding this baby? That they told me if the baby suck the breast, the baby will die. Or when the baby will suck the breast, the baby will start to be sick. It's nothing like that.
Okay.
Yes, nothing like that. The only advice we have for mothers at this time, maybe when you notice at the age of 6 months, 7 months, 8 months that you are pregnant for another baby, you don't need to stop the baby breast. It won't hurt the baby. It won't do the baby anything. The baby, your own work now is for you to eat right, eat very good diet, balanced diet, take your routine drugs. What are routine drugs? Routine drugs are drugs that they give to mothers while during pregnancy. We have like ferrous, folate, B complexes, vitamin C, yeast, just to help this mother to thrive well, and even the baby in utero. Okay. You understand? So you don't need to stop the baby from breast. You can give this baby breast or suckle this baby till the baby is to the age you want the baby to stop. I want to chip in something.
Okay. That
weaning depends on the mother. Doesn't depend on your husband. Doesn't depend on the baby, or the baby say you don't want to suck again. Some children may do that. Okay. They may just stop breastfeeding on their own. But you will not say because you are pregnant that the baby is still tender, I'll just stop. No, it won't harm the baby, except when you are not feeding very well, or when the weaning is now a threat to the mother's health. You know, some mothers, when they are newly pregnant, they will be sick.
Exactly, and even the child.
Yes, some of them will start vomiting. When they put anything in the mouth, they vomit it.
Okay.
If we notice that this is the case to the mother can wean off the baby. But if not, if you are breastfeeding a baby and you are pregnant, once you are eating healthy, nothing will happen to the baby and nothing will happen to you. The prolactin lactate the breast for the baby, while the progesterone also work for the baby in utero. So I don't think there's any problem with breastfeeding a baby while the woman is pregnant. It can be a mistake. You understand? But you not say because you have done the mistake, you just stop the baby. The tendency for the baby also to be sick is there.
Okay. So what about women now who go to pharmacies or the chemist to get drugs to dry their milk just because of that particular reason as well? Or because they just want to continue with their life, they want to move on, they're really tired. You know, a lot of women have postpartum after the, during or after childbirth. So how do those women now, what advice do you have for them? Because I've actually learned most of them go to see chemists. I want to get some drugs to dry off this milk, and I want to go to school or do some other things. What advice do you have for them?
Okay, the advice I have for mothers like that, maybe the young girls who just newly married, drying your breast milk is not your duty. In fact, you can't even dry your breast milk. Okay. Some people will have the tendency of expressing it. Exactly. You want to express out the breast milk so that you get dry. It won't. The more you press the breast, maybe you want to extract it out, the more the prolactin produces more, because you are letting it down, it's coming out. The only thing, as I've just said before, that weaning is a gradual process. It's not what you just start now and end it today. No. When you start up a breast weaning now, you give it time.
Okay.
You start gradual to give this baby breast. Maybe you give in the morning, you are not giving in the afternoon, you are not giving in the evening, you give in the midnight. Tomorrow morning you are not giving, you give in the afternoon. Your own body mechanism, your hormones will start telling your body that this woman wants to wean up this baby of breast. So the prolactin, the hormone responsible for production of breast milk, will start withdrawing.
Okay. So do you think using these particular drugs they get now can cause cancer?
Yes. There's a drug we call stibesterol.
Okay.
From findings, this stibesterol causes the dryness of the breast milk actually, but it's not the best. The more you get this milk dry through drugs, they will dry and form a lumps. The remnant of those breast milk remains in the breast tissue and form a lumps. And if care is not taken, those lumps form at this point. Some may grow benign growths, some will force cancerous growths. Benign growth, they are not harmful growths, but cancerous growth is one that is so detrimental to the body. So someone using those drugs constrict the breast milk, you can just confine in a place and start growing, causing breast cancer. So it's not too advisable. Some even go to the extent of using furosemide. Furosemide is one of the drugs, it's an antidiuretic drug that removes fluid from the body. So when the mother uses that furosemide, it dries, what they believe, dries up the breast milk. But I still persist that is not the best way of stopping or drying up a breast milk. You allow your body to make the withdrawing by itself, by withdrawing the breast milk gradual, so that the prolactin will work on the breast tissue to withdraw the breast milk by itself.
Okay. So what advice do you have for young mothers, older women, and of course people who have practiced this before now? What advice do you have for them? Because especially those women who are pregnant before their child or their baby turned 1 year old, and they actually try to also dry this milk because they feel it's not for the one they are pregnant for. They try to dry it. What advice do you have for them?
Okay, the advice I have for mothers out there is this. As I have said before, please, weaning off a baby of breast is not a day job. It's not even 3 days job. It's not 1 week job. I will advise, according to American Academy Pediatrician, we believe so much that weaning should take up to 2 good weeks for the mother to get off it. Even when you are pregnant, please, maybe you are still having a young baby in your hand, little infant, please don't just stop breastfeeding because you think it's the best solution to the pregnancy. Please, I want to advise that take it gradual. Let it be a process. It is not something that you just dangle into that will now affect the unborn baby and also affect the baby in your hands. Let it be gradual. Your body knows how to adjust to the hormones that causes this lactation to occur. Your baby and your breast, your body, I'm very sure, know how to adjust to the when you take it gradual feeding the baby, gradual taking off your mind from it. I want to even chip in something again, that if you feel that your breast is now engorged, maybe because the baby suddenly stopped the breast, you can add up cold compress to the breast. Use cold pads on the breast. You can as well get a better bra, firm bra.
What does it do?
Yes, to hold up the breast in position, make it firm again. When you use a sag breast, the breast keep drawing you down. The weight of the engorged breast draws the mother down.
But most times, sagging breasts are quite normal for some women.
It depends on how you handle your breast.
Okay.
Some women, once they are pregnant, they forget where their breasts are handled. Yes, they say they are feeling uncomfortable. How will I do? I'm not even breathing very well. You just leave the breast. You know, once somebody is pregnant, the breast get fuller because the hormone responsible for your lactation is at work preparing the tissues, the glands of the breast. So you not just go and say, I cannot wear bra again. Some even go to the extent of not even wearing pants to go out. It's not advisable. You know what? Pregnancy should be a blessing. It's a thing of joy. Because there are people out there, years, they didn't see baby. They didn't see any trace of pregnancy. But now God has blessed you with pregnancy. Say you are tired of wearing your bra. Package yourself. It should be a blessing. You understand?
Yeah, I do. So, yes. Like with these 2 weeks, you said the 2 weeks for weaning, you know, the gradual process and all that.
Yes.
There is no recommended age for weaning.
For weaning.
So, are you trying to tell us there is no recommended age for weaning?
There is in the sense that, according to WHO, World Health Organization, we are to breastfeed children for 2 good years.
Wow, that's long.
Yes. But with the system of education, everybody wants the baby to start school by 1 year.
Yes.
You understand? They want the baby to just resume school while the baby is still breastfeeding. Some will even go to the extent of the baby will come back from school and come and carry the breast and start sucking. So there is a range actually. Some women, the tendency to stop at 1 year is there, 1 year 2 months, 1 year 6 months. In fact, most of our mothers stop breastfeeding at the age of 1 month, 1 year 6 months, maximally now.
Okay.
I've never seen mothers in this generation that weans off baby at the age of 2 years. For now, I've not been seen, but I've seen people that wean off baby breast from 1 year 6 months. I've been seeing that. So the age is from 1 year to 1 year 6 months, or even 2 years if you can.
I think over 50% of women did exclusive breastfeeding at 1 month. What do you say?
That should not be exclusive breastfeeding. Any breastfeeding that just lasted for 1 month, no. According to WHO, I've said it, according to WHO or according to AAP, American Academy of Pediatrician, the first stage for weaning, exclusive, is 6 months. No water, no nothing, only the breast milk. And it should be on demand to the baby, not when you think it's conducive for you. It should be on baby's demand. Whenever the baby cries for breast, you breastfeed, and it should be for 6 months. So 1 month is not exclusive breastfeeding. I said the mother has other underlying ailment, or the baby has problem too that can make the mother to reproduce. But normally, it's 6 months exclusive breastfeeding that we encourage.
Thank you very much, Mommy, for educating us, giving us youth, and of course the young mother, and of course, I mean, the older women, this weaning knowledge. We are mostly naive in this country. The average women are very naive about weaning. Thank you for educating us on this show. One word for Vogue TV, ma.
Okay. I'm so happy to be invited in this studio. When Mr. Yomi called me for this health talk, I was asking, what could this be? What will I tell my fellow women out there? What type of talk? What will benefit them much? I know some of them are knowledgeable about this, but there are still people who are novice.
Yes.
There are still people who are novice.
Yeah.
Permit me to still chip in something. I forgot to say that in that.
Okay.
The 2 weeks of weaning off baby from breast, I know some people will be watching it out there. They want to really understand how they can do it.
Exactly.
Please, I will advise that you start gradual. As I've just said, that weaning is a gradual process. It's a process. Maybe it's hard for you to do. You don't know the baby is crying. For the first day you are starting to wean off a baby, don't go and give your mother and say, let this baby stay here till in the evening, I'll come and carry the baby. No. Wash your baby as you wean this baby. How do you do it? And when you wake up the very day you have planned to do this, in the morning after bathing the baby, please settle down very well. No matter where you are going to, maybe you are going off your business, settle down very well. Breastfeed this baby for at least 30 good minutes. Let the baby empty the 2 breasts. You can leave the baby at home and go to wherever you are going. When you come back in the evening, sit down again, wash off your breast from the heat of the day, breastfeed this baby again in the evening time. Then probably you can still feed this baby throughout the night if you wish to. Feed the baby throughout the night. Then the next day, please still give this baby breast before you go to your normal duty. Give the baby breast again in the morning time. You can even go off without giving the breast to the baby again. From that morning, after you breastfeed that early morning, you give throughout the day. Don't give throughout the day. Then in the evening again you give. Then throughout the night. The next day, being the third day, you can decide to not give in the morning. What are you going to feed this baby with before you go for your work? You can give this baby pap. Make the pap rich. Prepare. Don't go and buy custard. I don't used to encourage custard. Buy your jera and dawa. That is the best and very rich for the baby. Soak it for a day, 2 days. Watch your soya beans. Grind it together. I watched something on telly where the new technique, the new method of making ogi now. You buy your jero and dawa. That is your millet and guinea corn. I saw a preparation. Some people buy tiger nuts.
Yes.
They put coconut in their baby pap.
Well, it is said that soya beans is not really welcome for a boy's growth.
Boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
For that really. So what do you have to do? Like, must they also be in their? Yes, it really is very rich.
Okay.
But then it's not really advisable for a boy child growth.
The soya milk.
Yes.
You know, some of those things are stigmas that our parents has. Like those time in nursing when we are still growing up in child health. Some people would say that their parents used to say that when you give a child that is growing up snails, or no, when a pregnant mother eats snails, the baby start dropping saliva. And when you eat egg, or when you give a child that is growing up egg, the baby grow up to be a thief. Those things are just
Stigmas and
yes,
stereotypes.